Okay, welcome to our class. Good morning. As of this time, by this moment, I believe you started and you began with a prayer before you watch this video. Okay, shall we start? So for this lesson, our topic for this lesson is we are now on our lesson 3, I believe. Okay. I'll share my screen. Okay. So please open your Moodle account. For our lesson. Our lesson will be on lesson 3 of your book. You can turn your books, you can open your books to page 40. Who is the human person? Okay. So who is the human person? After this lesson, you'll be able to recognize your own limitation and possibilities, evaluate your own limitations and possibilities for transcendence. So what do we mean by transcendence? Transcendence would mean wholeness or the perfection or the greatness of human person. Okay, for this first part of our lesson, who is the human person, we will be discussing 3 theories on human nature. Okay? By this time, I would like you to pause this video for a while and then answer what you know as well as what you want to know. Okay, are you done? If you are done, congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Let's start with our lecture, the part of what you need to know. So the question, who is the human person, is a philosophical inquiry that is ontological. So what does it mean when we say ontological? Ontological is the area of metaphysics. What is metaphysics? It is the study of the nature of reality. And ontology is specifically concerned with the study of the nature and relations of being, or the relations of being a human being. Okay, so you may begin searching for a dictionary. You can look in a dictionary and try to see the definition of human being or human person. And if you would notice, usually dictionaries would only define qualities of the human person that are physical qualities and mental traits. But according to some philosophers, they say that human beings are also spiritual, ethical, and existential. Okay, do you agree with that? So why do you think it is important to study the nature of human person? Why? Because we are living in a complex life. So what do you mean by a complex life? Okay, what do you mean by a complex life? How do you understand the meaning of the word complex life? Okay, so when we say complex, it would mean many parts. It has many parts or multifaceted. There are many faces, there are many factors, and there are many parts of the human life. So for us to understand the nature of a human being, or of who you are as a human, or what you are capable of as a human and what you can become as a human, it will help you enhance your capacity to achieve possibilities and to embrace opportunities and to live your life fully worthy as a human person or as a human being. Okay? So there are three aspects of human nature, and these three aspects makes our human life complex. So this is the aspects of human nature. First is behavioral. This involves your actions, how you behave, or what you do. And you also have somatic. So somatic involves your biology, your your anatomy, okay? The anatomy of the human person, the science of the human person, which involves body, material, composition materials that compose and substances that compose the human body. And we also have attitudinal, which involves the human person's inclinations, your beliefs, your feelings, your emotions, your ideas, your opinions, convictions, prejudices, and biases. Okay, but for those who have speculated and criticized and analyzed the human person or what makes a human person, they came up with different theories. So we have here three theories of the human person, and they explained these three theories have their own meaning or own perspective on what a human person is. Okay, so we have um, Plato, and he believed that the human person is an immortal soul. Aristotle believed that the human person is a composite of body and soul. What do I mean by composite? A combination or a composition of body and soul. And then Rene Descartes, you've heard him before in our first lesson. According to him, the human person is a thinking thing. Okay, and we will delve in that a little later. Okay, so I will show you. I will be sharing a screen of the presentation of this. Okay, so first, let's discuss first the first theory of the human person. So it's Plato. Okay, Plato. It's Plato, not Plato. Okay, so according to Plato, this first. So for Plato, he believed that the human person is an immortal soul. Why? Why did he think that? So before we understand first, before we dig deeper into the discussion of these three theories, we must first understand that their views or the definition of philosophy of um, about the human person is that it has two parts. First one is the body and the soul. The human person is composed of the human body or understood in the concept of the human body and the soul. So these three theories are all based on the concept or the perspective that the human person has the body and has a soul. Okay, so according to Plato, for Plato, the nature of the human person is seen in the metaphysical dichotomy. So what do you mean by metaphysical? Once again, metaphysical is what? The study of, if you can remember, it is the study of metaphysical, the study of the nature of reality. Okay, so according to Plato, the human person is seen in the metaphysical dichotomy. So what do we mean by dichotomy? It would mean dual, okay? Dual or there is a contrast, there is a contradiction. There are two thoughts or two elements that is contradicting. That means dichotomy. Okay, so for Plato, the nature of the human person is seen in the metaphysical dichotomy between body and soul. And this dichotomy or this conflict, or this separation implies that there is an inherent contradiction between the body and the soul. Okay, so for Plato, he said that there is the body and the soul have a or has a contradiction. And he further believed that the body is material. So what do we mean by material? So according to Plato, the body is material. It is physical. It is measurable. It is quantifiable. It is substantial. Okay? And because it is measurable, it is substantial, it means it is mutable. What do you mean by mutable? It means changeable and destructible, meaning it could be destroyed. It could be ruined. Okay, the body could be destroyed. So on the other hand, the soul, according to Plato, is immaterial. So what do we mean by immaterial? Immaterial means, of course, it is the opposite of material. Immaterial is, it is not physical, okay? It is not physical. And it is immutable, meaning, of course, again, the opposition of mutable. It is what? It is not changed. It cannot be changed. And it cannot be destroyed. So, as the body is material, mutable, and destructible, the soul is immaterial, immutable, and indestructible. So, according to Plato, in the context of the nature of the human person, the body's existence is dependent on the soul, while the soul's existence is independent of the body. So what do you mean by that? Okay, so it means, according to Plato, he believed that even though there is no body, the soul could still exist. But without the soul, the body could not exist. So Plato argues that the soul existed prior to the body. So ibig sabihin, soul muna bago nagkaroon ng katawan. And that's according to Plato. And he concluded that the human person is just a soul using a body. Okay, what else? Okay. So according to Plato, there are three parts of the soul. What are those three parts of the soul? We have, okay, that's already done. We have rational, spiritual, and the appetitive. So what do you mean by rational? What do you mean by spiritual? What do you mean by appetitive? Okay, so for Plato, the rational soul is located in the head, and the spiritual soul is in the chest, and the appetitive is in the abdomen, from the word appetite, of course. And according to him, the spiritual and appetitive souls contribute to the motion and the activity of the whole person, while the rational soul's function is to guide the spiritual and appetitive souls. Okay, so for Whatever we do, every activity we have, our motion, our actions, our movement are all because of, or it is because of our spiritual and appetitive souls. But the reason why we do or why we move and do or act something is from our rational soul, from the level of our rational soul. And this guides, this guides our spiritual and appetitive, appetitive souls. So according to Plato, the appetitive part of the soul drives the human person to experience thirst, hunger, and other physical wants. Okay, while the spiritual soul and the appetitive souls contribute to the motion and activity of the person, while the spiritual soul drives the human person to experience abomination, to experience anger, and other emotional feelings. But on the other hand, the rational part of the soul, this one enables or allows us to think, reflect, to analyze, to comprehend, draw conclusions, and etc. Okay. So for example, okay, the rational soul, this is the one, this is the highest. Yeah, rational soul is the highest of all parts of the soul of the human person. And it guides the other two parts or appetitive spiritual. So what do I mean by this? According to Plato, 'di ba? Sabi niya, there is still a soul. The soul could still exist even without the body. Ibig sabihin, even if we die, our soul could still feel hunger, could still feel thirst, our soul could still be angry, our soul could still think, reflect, and analyze apart from the body, even without the body. Okay? That's according to Plato. Okay, next. So, yes, according to the three levels or three parts of the soul, the rational soul is the highest of all parts of the soul, and it guides the other two parts, the appetitive and the spiritual. So, for example, think of a desperately thirsty man in the desert. Diba, nakakita kayo ng isang tao or isang lalaki. Isang lalaki na nasa disyerto siya. And may nakita siyang isang oasis or there is a pool of water. And then, he approached it. Pero pagdating niya doon, syempre, uhaw na siya. Gusto niya na uminom. But, pagdating niya doon sa place or sa oasis, doon sa pool ng water, nakita niya na merong sign, danger, do not drink, polluted. Okay, so merong conflict sa kanyang kalooban. Iinom ba siya o hindi? Ang sabi ng kanyang desire, which part of the soul? Na nauuhaw. Sabi ng kanyang appetitive soul, drink. Drink the water. But reason tells him, which is the rational soul, that such signs usually indicate the truth. So the polluted water will make him, it may make him very, very ill, and it could kill him. And that if he drinks, he will probably be worse off than when he doesn't drink. So he decides not to drink. So sa case na ito, the rational part of the soul ay nag-oppose doon sa appetitive desire, dun sa desire ng kanyang appetitive soul. So, yung reason ay nag-guide sa kanyang appetite or sa kanyang appetitive soul. The rational soul ay nag-guide sa kanyang appetitive soul. So, hindi niya ininom yung tubig na madumi or polluted. So the principle then that drives the person to drink is called appetite, while the principle that forbids the person to drink the water because it is polluted is called reason. Okay, another example. Another example is that, for example, merong isang lalaki na galit na galit. And then, galit na galit siya sa isang tao na ininsulto siya. So, out of anger, gusto niya, meron siyang desire na saktan yung lalaki na ng insulto sa kanya. But because he knows that if he hurt the person, kapag sinaktan niya yung lalaki ng insulto sa kanya, alam niya na makukulong siya or pwede siyang i-demanda. So with the same thread of reasoning, according to Plato, he argued that the spirit in man, okay, so yung desire na manakit or yung anger na naramdaman is from the spiritual soul, and then because of emotions, right? And then the desire to hurt somebody or revenge is also a spiritual is involved in the spiritual soul ng isang tao according to Plato. Okay, but because for example, because of reason, yung naisip niyang reason is pwede siyang makulong, hindi niya sinaktan yung tao. So, ayun. Na-guide ng rational soul yung spiritual soul. Okay. So, here, again, according to Plato, desire, spirit, and reason make up the soul. Desire motivates, spirit animates, and reason guides. And according to Plato, if reason can successfully guide desire and spirit, then the human person will attain a well-balanced personality. So, ibig sabihin, yung rational or yung reason, yung ating isip, yung dapat na laging nangunguna, hindi yung ating emosyon, hindi yung ating desire. Okay? Ayan. So, if you recall, for Plato, the soul exists before the body. And Plato believes that the body and soul are separable. So, ibig sabihin, kahit pwede mong paghiwalayin yung body and yung soul. But, the body is dependent sa soul and the soul is independent sa body. Ibig sabihin, kapag walang soul, walang use yung body, mamamatay yung body, pero the soul will still exist. Pero kapag walang body, the soul will still exist. Okay? So yun yung concept ni Plato ng human person or what a human person is. Okay? And Plato mentioned that the human person is just a soul using a body. Okay, so yun yung summary nung kay Plato. He believed that the soul is imprisoned in the body and that the soul survives the death of the body because it is immaterial, immutable, and destructible. So yun yung sinabi ko kanina na according to Plato, without the body, the soul can still exist. But without the soul, the body will die. Okay. So what does that mean? So according to Plato, when the person dies, the body decomposes while the soul leaves the body and goes back to the world of forms na tinatawag. So meron din tinatawag na world of forms. May tinatawag na world of forms itong si Plato. And according to him, yung world of forms na ito ay doon lahat pumupunta ng soul. Ang lahat ng soul, nandoon lahat sa world of forms na iyon na tinatawag niya. And these souls na wala ng katawan, walang mapuntahan na katawan ng mga soul, is eternally nandoon sila sa world of forms na tinatawag ni Plato. Okay? But sa yung isang world is tinatawag niyang world of matter. So yung world of matter is nandun naman yung mga physical like mga bagay na mutable, na nagbabago like our body, our anything na nakikita natin or anything na walang soul. Ay, anything na mayroong soul and walang soul nandun din. Pero lahat ng soul na walang body is nandoon sa world of forms. Okay. So for Plato, everything comes from the world of forms and everything that exists or everything that exists is in the world of matter. Yan. Sabi niya, lahat ng soul will go back to the world of forms after the body or after the body perishes. And when the person dies, the body decomposes and the soul will go back to the world of forms and lives there eternally. So do you agree with that? I don't think so. Ako personally, I don't agree with that. But we will discuss that on our your opinions on our consultation schedule. Now, if Plato believes that the human person is composed of body and soul, but the body and soul can be separable, Aristotle disagrees. Okay, Aristotle disagrees with Plato's idea of dualism of the human person. Because why? Aristotle believes that there is no dichotomy between the person's body and soul. Ibig sabihin, according to Aristotle, the body and the soul cannot be separated. They are united. The body and the soul are in a state of unity. They are inseparable. So unlike Plato, Aristotle believes that we cannot talk about the soul apart from the body and we cannot talk about the body apart from the soul dahil hindi sila pwedeng magkahiwalay. Okay. So the term soul according to Plato is from the Greek word psyche or psyche na tinatawag. And for Aristotle, the general definition of the soul involves in the concept of life. So, ibig sabihin, para kay Aristotle, the soul is the principle of life. And he suggests that anything na merong life, anything that has life has a soul. So, as a principle of life, the soul causes the body to live. And it is the soul that animates the body. If the soul is the animator of the body acts as the matter to the soul. Hence, Aristotle believes that the soul is the form to the body, while the body is the matter to the soul. Okay. So, it means that the body exists for the soul and the soul also animates. What do you mean by animates? It moves, it motivates, it brings to life the body. Okay, yun naman yung kay Aristotle. So, kapag walang body, wala din yung soul. Kapag wala yung soul, wala rin yung body. Yun naman yung kay Aristotle. Because the body and the soul is united. Okay. So according to Aristotle, there are 3 levels of soul. Okay? There are 3 levels of soul. Sabi niya, okay, that's done. Okay, soul is the animator, body the matter to the soul is the form to the body, while the body is the matter to the soul. So, ayan. Inseparable daw yung body and soul according to Aristotle. And because the body and the soul is inseparable, this would mean that the human person, it makes the human person whole. Okay. Anything that has life has a soul. And that's according to the 3 levels of soul according to Aristotle. So we have vegetative. Yan yung mga makikita sa plants. And yung mga makikita naman na soul sa animals or yeah, yung mga soul naman sa animals and humans are called sensitive and rational souls respectively. According to Aristotle, plants have souls because they possess the three basic requirements for something to be called a living being. So ano ba yung three basic requirements para tawagin ng isang bagay na living being or living thing? 'Di ba? Sa science nyo, yan. For something to be called a living thing or a living being, it should be growing, it should be reproducing, and it should be able to feed itself. Okay. So, however, plants do not share the higher levels of soul. Ano ba yung higher levels of soul? Okay, yun na yung thinking, yun na yung thinking and feeling. Thinking and feeling. So, although although the plants they are considered living beings or a living things because they can grow, they can reproduce, and they can feed themselves, they do not share the higher levels of soul na feeling and thinking. So sensitive souls also grow, reproduce, and feed themselves, but unlike vegetative souls, sensitive souls are capable of sensation, as Aristotle writes. So, ito naman na yung mga example ng sensitive souls is, yan na yung sa animals. Okay? Yan. But, the other level of soul is the rational soul, which is the highest. Why? This level of soul, they can grow, they can reproduce, they can feed themselves, they can feel, and they can think independently, and they can think rationally. Okay? They can think, what do I mean by they can think rationally? They think based on reason. And is only, this could only be found in the in humans. Okay, so since humans possess all the characteristics of animals, that is the capacity to grow, to reproduce, to feed itself and feel, in addition to being rational, Aristotle concludes that the human person is just an animal that thinks. That's interesting. As Aristotle's famous dictum on the human person goes, according to him, meron siyang um, philosophy. Man is a rational animal. Sabi ni Aristotle. Why? Because the man or the human is also a sensitive soul. Okay? Just like the animals. Animals are also sensitive souls. Yun nga lang, ang kaibahan lang daw ng human sa animals is humans can be rational. Okay? So, therefore, rational animal ang tao. Yun yung kay Aristotle. Do you agree with that? Next. Kilala nyo ba ito? Okay, so this one is Rene Descartes. So, kay Rene Descartes naman, ang kanyang view with the human person is, I have already explained it in our first lesson, Introduction to Philosophy, introductory lesson. He believed that the human person is a thinking thing. He believes in his philosophy, he assumes that, or he believes that the mind and body are really distinct. So, almost the same sila ni Plato na distinct yung mind and body na they can be separated. Okay? Yung kanya tinatawag na mind-body dualism. Almost the same din. Although yung kay Plato, the soul and the body dualism. Yung kay Rene Descartes naman is mind and body dualism. Ibig sabihin, yung consciousness, awareness, and our thinking, our thoughts, our consciousness, our awareness could be separated from our body. That's also interesting. Okay? So he argues that the nature of the mind, that is our thinking, is completely different from our body. Okay, and therefore it is possible for one to exist without the other. Ibig sabihin, according to Rene Descartes, even if you don't have the body, it doesn't matter if you don't have the body, as long as you are able to think, you are able, you can still think, and you are still aware, you are still conscious, even without the body, you are still a man. Yeah, you are still a human person. Yan. So, yun yung kay Rene Descartes. Human person is a thinking thing. Okay? So, and if you want to learn more about Rene Descartes, you can go back to our first lesson or to the introductory lesson that we've discussed. And this is really interesting. He believed also, Rene Descartes believed that reality, if I am able to think, it means I am a human, or it means I am a human person. But if I can't think anymore, I'm not a human person anymore. Parang ganon, in other words. 'Di ba? Ganyan. But even though I have a body, but if if I can't think, if I'm not aware, if I'm not conscious, wala na ako sa reality of being a human person. Okay. So in your activity, you will be able to, I encourage you to explain your opinions. If you agree with these theories, or do you agree with the parts of these theories? Do you disagree on this part of a certain theory? Like, for example, you agree in a certain concept ni Rene Descartes, or ni Plato, or ni Aristotle. So, why do you agree, or why do you disagree doon sa part ng kanilang, doon sa concept na yun nila ng human person? Okay, so thank you so much for listening, and then I will be welcoming all your questions and suggestions or recommendations and your ideas and opinions on our next lesson. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.